Sorry, guys. Welcome to another spine-tingling episode of Harlots of Spook Talk, where we dive deep into the shadows of the the uncover chilling tales that lurk in the corners of our world. I am your host, La Muñeca.
Today, and I'm LD Patty Loma, and today we're taking you on a haunted journey through the eerie halls of some of the most notorious haunted hospitals around the globe. These places, once filled with hope and healing, now echo the whispers of those who truly never left.
That's right. From ghostly apparitions to the unexplained phenomena, we'll explore the dark history and the chilling encounters that have made these hospitals infamous. Are you ready to confront your fears?
Well, hold on, wait a minute. There's more. That we're thrilled to announce that in this episode will be a live experience like no other. Join us as we unveil exclusive video footage from the recent investigations in these haunted locations. You won't want to miss the spine-chilling visuals that accompany our stories.
So grab your EMF detectors and prepare for a night filled with ghostly tales and paranormal insights. Whether you're a skeptic or a true believer, there's something here for everyone.
So tune in as we unravel the mysteries behind these haunted hospitals and share our experiences that will leave you questioning what really goes bump in the night.
So dim the lights, settle in, and let's embark on a haunting adventure together. Welcome to Harlots of Spook Talk, where every story is a thrilling ride into the unknown.
Yee yee.
All right.
All
We
right.
did so much research for you guys, and we actually had like a 4 hour conversation as we were doing everything. And I just want to let y'all know I'm very confident about this today. We didn't realize how many hospitals were so haunted everywhere. And not all of them are abandoned hospitals.
No. And some of them are still here today.
Yep. Some of them
Okay.
are historical landmarks, and some of them are still functioning. Some have just moved down the street.
Let's see. I'm just going to say that so far on the live, on here as I'm sharing it out, we look hot. Okay.
Mm, I feel like we have our darkness going. I'm feeling the chills. I'm ready. I'm ready to be scared in my room.
Yeah. I'm not. Speak for yourself, girl.
I'm
Let's see.
Mary's the runner. I'm not. I'll run after her though.
Oh my gosh. All right. Sharing this out.
Alright.
Um.
Whoops, let me turn my phone down too.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm going to share it to your daughter. Daughter. Okay. And then I have like a million places I share this thing. As you come in, just say hello. Let us know that you're here.
Right. I'm gonna put my messages up. For some reason, my messages are never up. Have to click on them. Yeah, there they are.
There we go. And then, sorry.
You know, our live actually started with us just looking up one hospital, and then we kind of just took the rabbit hole down the hospitals.
You know,
So
been in a rabbit hole
yeah,
all day. You know, like we were recording and we were like going on one subject. Um,
and then it just
so,
winded up a whole show. We were
yes. You know what? I think that one did come out pretty good, though. To be
yeah,
honest
yeah.
with you, let me see. Now I got some people on um, here on the TikTok that I said I would share it to. Um,
I'm gonna share it
okay.
too.
Yeah, sorry. It's like a lot
No,
of
you're okay.
places to share.
We're sharing, guys. We're sharing to get you guys all in here. We don't want y'all to miss it.
Yeah. And I got videos today. Um, and was it John?
Do we have a link on the thing or no? Sorry, I was trying to
Yeah,
find.
I sent you the did you get it? And then you just or
Yeah.
if you go into okay. Cool beans. Okay. Make it. Oh, and Alicia. Oh, you know what? Let me share that on the. I am so sorry. I feel like this takes me forever.
No, it's okay. I'll get started with just starting with one of the hospitals while she continues to share. So you guys just aren't sitting here looking at us be beautiful. We started off with looking up Mercy Hospital in Laredo, Texas. I'm originally from Texas, and so is she. I have moved out of state, and so has she, and we miss Texas, but it's always good to hear good stuff from where we're from.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a little bit more haunting than others, and this time it was just a hospital. One of our awesome fans had asked us to check out the hospital they talk about on Laredo, so she did her own deep dive. I did mine. We kind of came together this morning and we're talking about it, and then it rolled out the red carpet for you guys on live. So we found out that the Mercy Hospital was actually it was already started in New Orleans by some nuns, and it was just a hospital that helped people. But there was a flood or something that kind of shut that area down for, or shut the building down for them. So then they wind up coming into Laredo, Texas, and in Laredo, Texas, that hospital, while it was active, it started off with just 12 rooms, and then it became bigger, of course, like most hospitals grow. And throughout the time of the hospital being used and having patients in it, a lot of times when it first started, it was that hospital specifically was for battered women and children.
Dusty.
And so now, hey, Dusty, and for now, from the beginning, that's how it started, and then it grew. But during the time where the hospital started to grow and it was bigger, there was a lot of tales from the patients complaining that they heard a little girl running up and down the hallway, kind of just being a kid, but just disturbing people who were sleeping. And when they were looking back in the cameras, they didn't see it, but then people were saying they were seeing an apparition of a young girl in a yellow dress.
Wait, are
And
we talking about? We're talking about the one from earlier.
yeah, I'm just getting them
Okay.
started with
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's kind of how we started down here. We found out that there was apparitions. We had pictures, things like that. And these the hospital eventually closed after many many years.
Hmm.
I want to say it's the hospital actually opened in 1875. That was in New Orleans, and then that's when they came to Laredo, and then it
Hmm.
closed in 2003, but it had already shut down prior years before that. So we
Right.
were talking about the dates earlier, but there is still activity going on. People still go and do paranormal investigations, and they see there that the little girl has been shown on camera. Sometimes they see her looking out the windows of the hospital. Sometimes they see an apparition of a man going back and forth who would be in a silhouette of like a dark black figure.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, I know that that was one of the hospitals that that's the actual hospital that we started off with to kind of just open the door for us. And that one actually, like when you see some of the videos, like some of the people are like seriously scared to be there. Like they get a very eerie feeling. And then we went into the comments where we saw some of the people who were commenting were saying that being in the hospital when they were there actually admitted had a very eerie, creepy feeling to just being there.
Yeah.
So even when it was active, people were still uncomfortable there.
Yes. Exactly.
So that was just the kind of so that was where we started. That was the one of the ones we started, and then we just kind of just started diving while we were just kind of
Which
well,
was even crazy because like it was talking about stories where like people would go there and then the bad things would like happen to them. So like one guy went over there, you remember, and he had gone over there and he went home, and then like he had actually seen this little girl in the place, right, with the
mhm,
dress and everything. A couple
yeah,
was it like 2 days or 2 weeks or something? He ends up unaliving himself, but the grandmother always said like since he went to go visit that place, it was never the same. We also found an article happened to be on my birthday. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not.
yeah.
2023 of my birthday, so less than 2 years ago, and a couple was up on the roof, whatever. But anyways, they ended up passing away.
Yeah,
They died on the roof. So is that what they died on the roof, or they just
they
died?
actually, if I'm not mistaken, we can probably look it up. But just if I'm not mistaken, if I read right, the couple fell off the roof.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought, but I was like, wait, that
That's
sounds so
what
crazy.
that's what kind of got me and Mary kind of like, what the hell? Because well, number one, she was already kind of freaked out about it being on her birthday, and then I'm thinking, well, think about it. It was already considered to be closed. There's
Yeah.
already people seeing crazy things there, and you never know what this couple was doing there, but why would two people at the same time just decide to jump off? You know what I'm saying?
That
And
look,
but
didn't
when
you read Romeo and Juliet?
I don't know.
Maybe it
I
was
mean, of course, yeah, but I'm just thinking like you already know it's haunting. Like nobody will ever know if something haunted pushed them or somebody pushed them or what. But all we knew is that there was a couple who went all the way to the top of the hospital and fell. It says the article says that they fell from the roof
yes.
together. So for me, I feel like you said like it could be one of those things like let's do it together. We're gonna end the world together with us, or who knows? But considering that it's a
If
haunted place, you never know. So it kind of leaves us questioning what happened, especially
well,
with
what
it being only a couple years ago.
but if I was like, "Hey, Monica, hey, you wanna jump off a building with me? Come
I'd
on,
be
we're
like, "Girl, hunting,
friends.
hunting, no."
We're
When I
friends."
said I wanted to die with you, I meant to get old together, not to do it this way. We're not
Well,
Thelma and Louise in here, okay?
oh, come on, that was a fun story.
But
Um,
yeah, so that was I mean, there's still I mean, till this day, there's still activity going on, and there's still people going to do the paranormal investigations there. So you guys can always look them up on YouTube. There's people on TikTok. We found a whole bunch of people who continuously continue to go there to check it out. Like, new people wanting to
mhm,
try something new, trying to, just get the paranormal experience there. But after hearing that somebody got thrown off the roof, I'm kind of like, I probably wouldn't want to be on that floor. I don't
right,
think I want to
right.
make it up any floor all the way up there.
Yes. So, Stanley Hotel, have you heard of that one?
Yes. I did hear about it. And I
Okay,
actually
cool.
heard about that one
Actually,
through,
that's the
I
one from the
think it was
horror story, right?
yeah, I heard it from one of the ghost hunter things, like one of those shows. I remember hearing about that one. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
got somebody
I don't
asking.
know where I came to the Stanley Hotel. It is what it is. Okay, so you want to share some videos, and we can go through each hotel that we see on here one at a time. So, oh gosh, I don't know where to start. Okay, you know what? Since we were just on the, okay, no, this one's a different hotel. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Let's start here.
This is why most people
Okay, and this is kind of an old video. I seen this years ago. Um, but we'll kind of go over it. So I'm just gonna let y'all watch it.
don't want to work the night shift. A hospital security guard by the name Jay has been documenting a series of hauntings onto his YouTube page for several years now. He explains that during the night shift, randomly, strange mist-like figures come to visit him and the other officers late at night.
Motherfucker decided to show itself again.
First, you can see Jay notice a white figure passing by.
I looked at it like, okay. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So I hesitated, so I just threw something because I didn't know what to do.
Then, on another video, an officer by the name Hooks is also seen noticing this thing through the corner of his eye.
Yeah, no. There you go. See it? And watch him. He stopped. He looked like, what the fuck?
Could all these light and dark mist-like figures be
That's
the
what I
wandering
always said.
spirits
I've been
of
like, what the
those
fuck?
who passed away in the hospital? Let me know what you think.
I think. I mean, I wish I could have found the original, but that's pretty much it. If I seen something the corner of my eye, I
I
would have
feel
been
like
like,
both of them took it
"What?"
very calmly, like they were almost in shock at first.
Well, this was a whole thing. Like back in the day, like when he was really just sharing those videos. It was like
Hmm.
he was like, "What the fuck? I don't know what to do." OMG! Like he don't see ghosts, so he's like, "What is going on?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the
And that's
surprise.
a natural reaction too. That's how you know. Like me and Miss Mary been doing this for years. That is a natural reaction. When you're at work and you have no idea that there's possibly a haunting or anything going on, and then you just
Mhm.
see something, you kind of question yourself, and you're like, "Did I just see that?" But then he explains he even got up because he got scared and he threw something at it. Like some people's natural reaction is to run, and some people's is to like fight or kind of just throw and see what's
It's a
going.
fight or flight thing.
Yeah,
Like you're like, what do I'm like, I don't know, it just depends on the ghost.
honestly, for me, it depends on the feeling that I get. Did the cold wind hit me too? Because if that happens, I'm a warm, chilled chick. I like to be in my sweaters and stuff. So if I feel something cold and then something runs by, I'm gonna be surprised. But like, I may not run as quick. I usually run when there's a very loud noise. just because it puts me in a state of flight, like to fight or flight, you know? I don't mind fighting, but I know 38 years of my life, I know I can't fight nothing in the spirit with my physical hands. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're going
Yes.
to. But other than that, we get scared still.
Yes. And so it's like, I don't know. But okay, so here we start on the rabbit hole. So when he was like, what the fuck? This is reminding me of a video I found today. And literally natural reaction. Okay, so oh, here the rabbit hole we go. Remember when she was like, I know I was going to wait for this last, but I can't. Is it this one? It's this one. Okay. Here we go.
Oh yes, this
Okay,
woman
so
is amazing.
she's saging her house, right? Like any typical normal person, and watch.
Now here you can't hear it, but she's also like affirming to tell whatever's there to leave.
Yes. Here we go.
What the fuck? Fuck no.
That's me. I swear.
She's like, "Oh,
Nope.
nope, bye. See you later, bye. Nope.
But
Sage
keep
didn't work. Gotta go,
watching.
gotta go." And it
Sometimes
continues to happen. Yeah, it's even caught on camera that it continues to happen. Like, come on, guys. We all have a refrigerator. We know that it literally sticks together when it closes. So, like, for
you
it to
know.
open like that so many times, and that's an old school freezer too, so it has a little bit more weight on it.
Well,
That's
listen.
not just something that.
After I watch this video, like my refrigerator door opens all the time, and sometimes the
Yeah.
freezer will open. Like I won't be
Uh-huh.
doing anything, and it'll do the same thing. But I never
Does
thought
it
it would
close
be a
it for you?
ghost. Yeah, yeah, but I never. Ooh, scared me.
I would have never have even.
I
That's the
didn't.
first thing I would have thought because I think about it. It's like you
I
have to open
didn't.
it.
I thought, okay, it's an old refrigerator. It's a weird floor, so maybe it's just the gravity. But now, but when I went in to go get the water earlier, I was sitting there thinking, oh my god, has this whole time that I've been trying to go get something out of the fridge, or yeah, or when I'm walking around my kitchen, is it not me? Is it a ghost? But I was like, no, I would have known if it was a ghost. But you know what I mean? Like,
Well, you have the natural intuition of feeling presence around you. So, but then again, sometimes we are moms where we're so busy we're not even paying attention to that stuff. So you never know. You never know.
okay,
Just pay attention next time and see. You'll see.
um, now I'm gonna cry. Like,
I would put a camera in your house too, just so I can
it
get your
was like
natural reaction.
when well, I do have a camera in the kitchen, and I just need to set it up, like put it
Yeah.
up. Maybe I'll do that. Oh my god! And if I see something, I'm gonna like piss my pants.
We actually have a good friend who has the cameras in her house. Our other sister who took a step back because she was getting better in health.
Girl, her stuff was
Her
crazy.
pictures are literally just she put cameras around her house, just like normal people do, like because we do that, and she happens to catch apparitions in her house all the time, in her
Mhm.
living room, full on. You can tell what their clothes was like. You can tell what they look like, how tall they are. Very clear apparitions, just roaming around her house throughout the night. And
She's
literally,
like,
the cameras are just up for safety reasons, in case because like she kind of lives in like
she lives in
in a
a
what do you call it?
good neighborhood, but things happen. She's just
Yeah.
very she's she's got a lot of going on with ghosts. That's for sure. Like it's
And
always
these
active.
cameras caught it. So
You know.
we always talk about cameras and videos and things like that. So I think her cameras just picked it up so fast, so quick, and like hers, I think are probably like the most scariest that I've seen that are like literally just right in her house. A lot of times you see them here or you'll see them in the window. Hers are just walking around like they live there.
Yep.
Maybe they do.
So this is the second part to it.
Was this is another day though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
May all the evil spirits here leave this home. You are not welcome here.
See how the towel
You're
fell?
not welcome in our home anymore. Please leave me and my family alone. Find your way out of this home.
It's
Oh
probably
my god. Leave us alone!
sorry, my internet's kind of weird. Oh, she's getting mad. Watch. And now the baby's crying. Okay. And y'all feel free to follow the peoples. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. So I hope nothing starts flying. I mean, hopefully I'm moving. Okay. Speaking of
That's one
flying
thing.
things,
That's one thing. Being a paranormal investigator and just seeing paranormal stuff when I was a kid, that was probably one of my biggest fears when I was a kid. I don't want to go in somewhere where somebody's already in a very sinister spirit and for no reason that they start to throw things at me because they know I can see them. Because a lot of times, like me and Mary talk about, sometimes when we were
Okay,
younger,
watch this,
we
y'all.
didn't know how to control the gift and things,
right.
and that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Now I'm older, I understand, I get it now,
Well,
but it's
different,
different
yeah.
when
I mean, and it's like different stages do different things.
you're.
Really do
Mhm.
your research on it. If you don't know, like more than
When
likely we
when
can.
those spirits are able to throw things, it becomes very dangerous to our physical body. They're not physical. So, but they can throw physical things. And so that is one of the things you have to be very careful when you guys are being out here trying to do beginning paranormal investigations.
Yes, exactly.
This man,
So this guy here,
he called his boss asking him, why didn't y'all tell me they had a new employee, right? He constantly looking back, right? He talking to somebody, right? Just watch, this is creepy. Look, having a whole conversation with somebody, right? Saying that somebody came and he dapping that person off and everything. Now see, look, y'all see when he dapped them off, look what happened. He dapped them off. You see that shadow? And then the shadow goes over here and he pulling the chair out for him. He swear to God he sat there and had a whole conversation with this person. He moved over talking to him and everything. Y'all better protect yourselves. Whatever that was took
just had a
advantage of
whole
him.
conversation with somebody that wasn't there.
So you were saying like earlier, sometime. I mean, you said they were somewhere or at the hospital, and somebody was right in front of them having a full conversation, like
Yeah,
nothing.
this video reminded me of one that I had seen when I was younger, but I think I saw it on YouTube. But it was kind of similar to this. It was at a hospital. The security guard was walking down the hallway, and he looked like he was talking to somebody. So the security guard that was watching all the cameras called him and was like on his little thing here. He's like, "Hey, who are you talking to?" He said, "Oh, I just found a guest that needed to find their way out after visitation." And the person is like, "What are you talking about? There's nobody there. Who are you talking to?" He said, "I'm standing here talking to this woman right here in front of me." And the camera, they just like you see here, they show the camera. The lady shows the camera, like, "Hey, look, there's nobody there. Look, guys, look, nobody's there." And then he opens the door, like the exit door, to let the person out. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then all of a sudden, he closes the door and he's talking to her. He's like, "What do you mean? I just let the last visitor out, and because she got lost in the hospital." And they're like, "There's nobody there." I guess he asked the person who he thought was there who she was there to see, and the name that she gave him was her husband who died in the hospital a long time ago. So when he tells the lady over the thing, she says she was visiting Mr. So and so. The lady's been there for years, so she's like, that man died a long time ago. So the guy gets spooked on the camera, and he's like running to go see her, to go see what she's talking about. So he literally had a full on conversation with this woman, found out who she was seeing, and then walked her out because she said she was lost. So he let her out the exit door.
Oh,
Same thing, and had no idea. But as soon as that lady starts to tell him that there's nobody there, he's spooked because he's like, there's no way. I'm literally looking at her right now.
if somebody told me on the radio, I would be pissed. I would be like, "Why would you tell me that while I'm standing right in front of them?"
I know. They could have just disappeared or got mad or did something.
Oh my gosh!
He
Please
literally,
tell me
and this
after.
ghost, how nice was this ghost to walk out the door?
Well, at least he let him out. Like
Yeah, right, for real.
I get a lot of knocks, like three set of three knocks, and That's what always spooks me. And it's been in this apartment. Like, nothing really happens in this apartment. But that's the one thing I hear. I'll hear knocks of 3. Do you think I'd be answering my door? Hell no. Am I going, who's there? Hell no. Whew.
You know,
Some of
you're
these
like
spook.
me. We only have visitors that we know come over, like if we know somebody's gonna come over. And you just moved too, like so this is a new house for you. To hear those 3 knocks, I've heard those knocks at my doors, but I'll know because I have this big, humongous window in front of my house. But I put the curtains, but I can see through them, but they can't see in. And if I don't see anything walk over there and somebody knocks, I don't answer that door because I know better. I ain't
Mhm.
doing nothing in my house that ain't supposed to be there.
Exactly.
You
It's
know what
like
I
bad.
did? I'm used to hearing like you hear the knocks, right? I heard them when I was younger. I don't hear them that much anymore. But I hear my name being called, and I think because I have a house full of kids, I got 4 kids in the house still. I've got three teenagers and a 9-year-old, and my 9-year-old's like a teenager already, just doing her own thing. So a lot of times when I'm done doing stuff, my kids will go to their rooms and hang out because they like to be in their own space. I've made the rooms comfortable enough for them to be comfortable where they're at in their own space, and I always hear somebody calling my name. So then I go check each room. Did you call me? Did you call me? Nobody called me, but it sounds like one of my kids calling me. And being in this house is like it's a 4-bedroom house, but it's considered to be a 5-bedroom because of the floor plan. And it's many families have lived here. When I moved in, I didn't get any type of eerie feeling. I didn't see anything bad, nothing. I have once or twice seen a child run up and down the hallway that I thought was somebody in the house with my kids.
Yeah.
And I found out it wasn't because my son said that one day he came into his room and he saw somebody sitting on his desk chair and then he double looked and then they were gone. So I know it was just an apparition of like a child, but I don't know what happened in this house before me. But when I got here, I didn't get any type of weird feeling, any vision or nothing. So I just kind of moved in, you know?
Yeah.
And I really haven't had anything else too crazy, but I do sometimes hear like somebody's calling you know how kids say mom, like
Yeah.
but from way on the other side of the house, and then here I come like wiping my hands from doing dishes or whatever I'm doing, and nobody called me. Nobody, and I get mad at my kids. I'm like, don't lie, like because they're jokesters. You know, your kids are jokesters when they're
Yeah.
teenagers. I'm like, don't lie, for real, did y'all? And they're like, no, mom, no. And then the other ones come out, what are y'all talking about? I'm like, who called me? Somebody called me. And they're all looking at each other like, are y'all tricking mom or like, no? But many times it's happened, and that kind of freaks me out too because like the knocking happens for you.
Yeah.
Somebody's actually calling my name, and I'm like, but then my kids are like, it's not me. So then I'm like, you know,
Yeah. I
it's
mean, that's
question.
that's where the MIMIC
Mm,
comes in. I don't. You got to be really careful with those. Like, don't answer it. If you can avoid answering it, don't answer it. It's
yeah.
never good, but it's someone trying to get your attention,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they try to get you.
And
Because I always
I
hear
really
that,
am in the
especially.
moment where I'm busy when it happens.
Yeah, and that's how it usually goes. Like, I noticed, like, especially when the kids were smaller, you know, like I still hear it sometimes, or Hail Mary, or whatever.
Mhm.
It's so weird, you know. But I don't know. It's crazy.
You
Well,
know, one thing that we also dived into with these hospitals is that a lot of these hospitals, because they're hospitals, have a child apparition that has been there. Some of them like to kick balls down the hallways. Like some of these paranormal people have gone to different hospitals. But one thing I've noticed in common is, of course, all types of people pass away in hospitals, right?
right.
Some of the spirits have been there and they are still there. But one thing that I've noticed that there's at least one child in each hospital that likes to play with balls or small things or like take candy or like for some reason, you know, in each hospital that we kind of looked up, somebody has a story about an apparition of a child or a story about a child like the one that we first had who was running up and down causing a lot of noise, but there was nobody there.
All right.
You know, in hospitals, children pass away too. It's not easy
I
to
think
comprehend when it happens, but you know, it's a very tragic thing. But I mean, those are children seem to be the ones who are most active a lot of the times in
I
hauntings,
think
whether they're in a house or a hospital too.
I think that was like a big thing for me for, a good long time where I would see a lot more kids,
Yeah.
and for,
When I started having kids, I started to see more kids too.
but I see some women here and there. I see some men here and there, but like kids or like I don't know if it's just like a mom thing or what it is.
I
It's
think
not
it is
sad.
sometimes that they get that essence of a mother,
Mhm.
and because children are drawn to mothers and their own mother, or a lot of times I noticed that when I would take my kids places, whether it was
Or
to a
they
park or somewhere,
I've
and a
I've
child
had
came up and approached them, it was because they were children.
I've had a child want to know, like a spirit. She wanted to know what it was going to be like to be my child. And that was kind of rough, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because she was running
What
up
do
and
you
down the
tell a child
hallway.
when they ask you
Well,
that, you know?
she was running up and down the hallway at night, and I was like, and then I was having these crazy dreams, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I told her one. Okay, I got to tell you this whole story.
Okay,
So
tell me.
hopefully the light doesn't flicker. Um, so she said, I said, okay, if you want to do this, you have to be quiet after 8 o'clock. Lights are out, and when the kids are asleep, you go to sleep.
Mhm.
And that worked for a while. That worked for like a week or two. Um, and then I noticed that she was hiding my stuff. And I was like, okay. So I had this little like puppy, like I think I got it from my mom. It was like a little glass puppy. Uh, I just had it on the counter in the trailer, and
Yeah, yeah.
she would kind of move it. Like, you remember how I was talking
Like,
about
you
that?
know where something is, and then it's kinda scooted over a couple inches, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Huh."
you remember how I talked about that cat energy? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it was like that, so she kept moving it, and I was like, "You cannot," and I kept pushing it back, I'm like, "You can't, this is not its way." So someone suggested to me, get her something,
Mhm.
and so because prior to that thing, she just kept yeah, it was prior, sorry. Prior to that, she just kept messing with stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Girl, you need to, like, calm down," I know I sound
Yeah.
crazy when I'm telling you this stuff. Like, I'm like,
No,
"This
no,
is,"
no.
I'm like, "Quit messing with stuff," just, and
And all she wanted was something to play with.
so I rebuked her.
Of course.
I said, "You know what? I rebuke you. You need to go away because
Mm.
something's
'Cause you
wrong."
never know if it's sinister or whatever,
She
This is kinda how
she
it
went
starts.
she went to my friend, and I was talking to her about this because I said, "Everything is effing up in this house." I said, "I'm having these nightmares, these other things are happening," and she's like, "You said something to her." And I said, "I rebuked her." Oh, see, I'm getting chills over here on my head. I rebuke it. I rebuke all of that energy. That's why I don't talk about it. But
Mhm.
yeah, and she was like, "Why would you rebuke me?" I'm like, so that's when I finally got the little castle for her. And I said, "Okay, this is yours. You play
And
with
you leave
this."
mine alone.
Yes. And she did pretty good. After that, I haven't really had any issues. As long as I don't say the name or anything, I'm good. I rebuke
Yeah, 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 for sure.
it. But yeah, and don't give anybody names. That's a no-no.
Yeah, you don't name things like you name your pets.
Mm-hmm. So one of the hotels on here. Okay, so now that we're talking about hospitals again, let's start here.
Okay, this shit is crazy. I can't get up from bed. I'm laying down, and out of nowhere, if you guys could hear, that's my bathroom. I can't get up because I have all kinds of equipment stuck on me. The shower started out of nowhere, and this happened again yesterday. And the nurses thought that I was tripping because of the morphine and the oxycodone and fentanyl and all the shit they're giving me. The freaking shower's going. And then, once again, I can't get up. And the sink turns on. This room's fucking haunted, on the real.
Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. Sometimes it's seen like that they're in a hospital, like she said, they gave her all kinds of pain medication. This was overlooked. they're telling her, like, she's saying it. They're thinking that it's the medication, making me loopy, but you can clearly see the sink water on.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
it's
had
like
she not been so calm from all the medication, she probably would have been real fucking scared too.
it was like I seen something similar. It was like I don't know. It looks like a very similar room. So I don't know if it's the same hospital. She didn't put what hospital she was at, but there was a little girl. She was in the hospital over there, and she had a room just like that. And all of a sudden, it's a sick little girl in this room. All of a sudden, the sink comes on. The water comes on. I don't think the shower came on. I think it was just a sink. And so this little girl was talking to the sink. She's like, "Are you a girl? If you're a girl, turn on, and asking yes or no questions with the sink." And ooh, I got chills. Like, and it was replying. It was like, "Yes, I'm a girl. Yes, I died here." It's like, ooh.
I've seen
But
paranormal investigators use lights and all kinds of different gadgets, but specifically for the yes or no questions. I
mhm,
do enjoy those when I'm watching them because I'm like, they're interacting with each other. And I
mhm,
was just telling you about the TikTok lady or the TikTok guy whose mother-in-law is what he thinks is the ghost in their house. And she interacts a lot, even while the wife is there.
yeah,
This guy, you know what? I was going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you right now too. I just saw another one where, you know how when people have cameras in their house, sometimes they have speakers for like dogs or whatever, like, to watch their pets or whatever, or their kids. Well,
yeah,
I watched that guy because it's like the content is funny because you can tell his mother-in-law or whatever it is in the house is likes to
yeah,
joke with him sometimes. Well, I guess the wife had left the curling iron on on the counter in the kitchen.
yeah,
And so he's calling her name on through the speaker like from far distance because they had already left. They were going out of town
yeah.
and calling his mother-in-law by name and he's like, "Hey, so he says his wife's name, blah blah, has left the curling iron on. Can you please go unplug it?" And you see the camera in the kitchen. He's like, "Do you hear me? Can you hear me? Where are you at?" And then all of a sudden you see the restroom door open. He's like, "Why are you in the restroom? What are you doing in the restroom?
Oh my
Did you hear what
god.
I said? Your daughter left the her curling iron on the counter. Can you just pull the plug?" And you see
Oh,
the
I know who you're
iron
talking
move
about.
and the
You're
plug
talking.
unplugs.
I know who you're talking about because there was that little goose thing.
I wanna say her
That
name is
goose.
Sheila or Shirley or something. It's the mother-in-law. It's
No,
the mother-in-law, though.
I don't know if it was the mother-in-law. But yeah, they were like one day there was like a goose. He was sitting on the couch and there was like a goose, like a stuffed goose,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden you see the goose heads go from here to here, and he goes, "Wow, that's embarrassing. You really just haunted a stuffed duck." Like, and I was like,
Yeah, that one very much interacts, though. Very, very
"Yes."
much. I
But
really liked
I
it when I
seen
saw
that
the
one where
curling iron stuff.
she plugged the curling iron or whatever, the straightener or what I think it was a curling iron like you said, but yeah, I remember that. She was like in the kitchen and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh." I'm like, "Well, at least she's a helpful ghost."
Yeah, right, better than most can say. Most people
Yeah.
are getting scared, she's helping out in the house.
I feel like that's the kind of ghost Sarah would be. Speaking of Sarah, if we didn't say it earlier, we are going to be live on Monday nights for Favorited, and that'll be around, well, not around the Campfire Chronicles.
Yes.
So
Coming
Monday
up on
nights.
Monday, starting tomorrow, guys, so join us for the campfire.
Yes, exactly. All right. So we are coming into 40 minutes. We usually do these for an hour, but today is Sunday night.
So we're gonna wrap it up a few minutes early, guys, so y'all can get to bed without being scared, because otherwise Miss Mary won't go to bed tonight.
Yeah, and Miss Monica's background's looking a little sus. All right, y'all have a good night. Stay out of
Bye,
trouble
guys.
and stay spooky.
Stay spooky.